Hey, I'm Patrick with Rowdy Restorations. Today we are at the Georgia National Antique Ag Show in Perry, Georgia. And I'm walking around inside the Georgia Grown building right now, checking out the indoor display. But this show has been going on since 2019, and I'm glad to say I have actually been coming to every show since 2019. We really enjoy this show down here. It's pretty cool. They highlight a lot of the local agriculture stuff. You can see behind me, we got a cotton picker back here, got a peanut combine. And in the early days, I took a couple gin tours and got to see some cotton coming in and being cleaned and all that stuff. We really enjoy this show, so maybe next year you all can come down here and I'll have a little bit more information at the end of the video on that for y'all. But stay tuned. There's Buck pulling on a John Deere A. I guess you could maybe call that like mid-production. It's a styled tractor, but it has the flat iron steel frame rails. The later ones had a pressed steel frame. I don't think those Grove tractors were really designed to do work like that, but there you go. For all you guys that doubt those turf tires, look. Look at the old steel wheel tractor. Another Farmall Cub. They must have made 1 million of them things. 40 tricycle, 50 with a wide front. Some nice tractors. Oliver's favorite booth, all the toys. Most of these guys aren't opened yet. Like I said, I jumped in here real early. But they've got several different vendors in here selling stuff. A lot of these guys are here every time. Pretty cool. Massey Harris. Oh, this is Lee Sackett. He travels down here every year. Comes from, well, either one of his two shops. He's in Iowa and Minnesota. I don't remember which state he calls home. I feel like it's Minnesota. But he travels down here every year, brings tractors to display. And of course the ones he brings are always different ones that he has restored in their shop. So there's a quick little shot of the work they're doing. Jamie and Jackie Bell's 1947 GW. If I'm remembering correctly, this is another one that Jamie and Jackie have acquired. 620 standard. Gasoline tractor. Really not in bad condition. I guess that's one that is debatable as to whether you restore or not. Fenders definitely need some work. I would say there is probably a good story to this tractor, knowing Jamie, and that's why this is still in there and not been pressure washed out. I've got a hunch there's a good story to it, and it will probably stay the way it is to tell that story, which is also very cool. And they're set up with Dan, the sign man, of course. He is the current president of Classic Green. Goes to shows all over the country making tractor signs, and really hustles a lot for the hobby, I guess you could say. It's a nice little GP, 1932. There's a little BO. Got to plow with Richard Haynes' BO out there at the Boss Farm Show. That was pretty cool. Alice Chalmers WD. There's a unstyled A and a unstyled that should be a G. Is that a G? Yeah, unstyled G. Here's the right here is the row crop version of the Orchard 77. Check that out. Here's the way the brakes look on the row crops. I still am scratching my head on that brake design, and I'm still saying I don't like it, but whatever. If I can get it to work, it'll just have to work. Here's another G. Another GW, I reckon. Now, you'll probably be thinking there's a lot of G's here. Well, they are trying to get the momentum rolling because Classic Green will be here in 2027. And in 2027, the featured tractor is the John Deere G, or one of the features is the John Deere G. And they want to get just as many G's here as they can possibly get. So obviously there's a big following down here for the G's already, but they are trying to get the momentum rolling and get the ball rolling per se to make sure they get as many G's here as they can. Here's a 1962 3010 John Deere. It's a nice little display here that the Smith family put up with their BI. It's a very nice tractor that they just had finished up recently. And it's got the horizontal exhaust on it too, which is pretty cool. They're out of Crossville, Tennessee. John Deere 60. Nice Spoker D. Restored one of those back in the day for Tom. If one had to guess, it's probably a 1925. Check out the garden tractors here. He's got some nice stuff here. He's got a 3-point plow like the one we just set up for Oliver. I've got a hunch that looks like it might need some more weight to stay in the ground. I really like that disc. So he's got the plow on a 140 H3. And then he's got the disc on a 140 H1. Those are both later model according to the grill. And then here he's got a 318 too, but he's just got a little spreader hook behind it. And then he has the diesel version of the 318 right there. Nice little original 332. It's got a 3-point plow on it too. Alright, so I was walking around in here in the building, and then I look over and there's 7 John Deere guys standing around this Massey Harris and all scratching their heads trying to figure out what this is right here. And I had the bright idea of asking Lee, who restored it, what it is. Well, come to find out, Lee doesn't know what it is. Some kind of mason jar hooked up to an old style, like, metal bale top, and a little bulb and a line going into the intake manifold. So I guess this is where we're going to ask anybody who watches this video that might know what that is, please put it in the comments, because like I said, there's 7 of us scratching our head. The fella that restored it doesn't know what it is. So maybe we can figure this out. Somebody, please, let us know. There's a little display that they set up here quite a bit that talking about the American agriculture movement in 1973. And here is a Waterloo boy. I don't know why I've walked through here. I guess I'm looking at the other side of stuff and I hadn't even noticed that it was here yet. That is pretty cool. You tend to not see a lot of Waterloo boys at shows in this part of the country. I've never noticed that on them before, but I don't know nothing about Waterloo boys. It's got 2 tags on it. Pretty interesting. I did get to check out the innards of one of those at Kent Castor's place on the way back from our Boss Farm Show trip. I stopped at his place and visited for a little while and got to see one that he had tore down in there that they were working on. There is a little popped up pulling tractor. It's a John Deere B, so that John Deere B electric start, so it's got the longer hood on it there to fit the electric start stuff in. So that would be an early styled tractor. John Deere 420 industrial. Looks like that tractor is out of Tennessee. And then here is a 320 utility, painted factory orange for a highway department, owned by the same people out of Tennessee. Here's another G. And here's another G too, but this is a G of a different brand and a different color. Alice Chalmers model G. And this little tractors were set up to sell to the little truck farmers that had small vegetable garden plots, and set up as a cultivating tractor. And here's a John Deere M, showcasing a different implement that most people throw in the scrap pile and don't bring to shows. Little mower deck. But judging by the look of the blades on it, I'd say they still mow with it. So that's pretty cool. And then there's a John Deere H with full cultivators. You don't typically see them at shows like that with the cultivators on them because they're a pain in the butt to haul around, but that's pretty cool that people are bringing them like that now. I really like seeing the implements on this stuff. Nice Ford 2000. So that's the later version of the Ford 8M. Should be like 63, 64 era. 1948 Alice Chalmers Model G. Another G, obviously of the green flavor. There's a slightly larger tractor. There's a 50, John Deere 50. And then another John Deere GP, this one on full steel. If you guys want to see some steel wheel tractors working, go back and check out the episode from the Boss Farm Show, because they featured unstyled John Deere tractors there, and I don't know if I had seen so many old steel wheeled original condition tractors plowing before. It was a pretty cool show. Well, that is it for the inside of the Georgia Grown building. It's a really cool building to display the tractors in anyways, because look at the banners they have up here. It is obviously 100% geared towards agriculture, and that's the other thing that I really enjoy about this venue too. And not to mention, if you come down here to display tractors, it's free. If you come down here and show up as a spectator and walk in through the west gate, guess what? It's free. So you really can't get much better than that in today's times. Got a little electric start BO hooked to the hay press today. Dusty work. I want you to see what goes into this right here. Old Jamie trying to tie these bales off. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So for you guys that aren't around this stuff, at the Boss Farm Show, those balers that they were baling their wheat straw with, well, they're all tying this stuff automatically. Well, here's how you had to do it before that. Back in the good old days, right? So when people said that they could fix anything with a piece of baling wire and a pair of pliers, now you know where the baling wire comes from. It's right here. Check it out. They've got a steam engine here. An Eclipse. As I've said before, I don't know squat about steam engines, except that they're pretty cool to watch operate. But it definitely takes a lot of logistics. Look at all this wood, water.
I never did it. I just picked it up. But I said, yeah, they're going to take it back. You can put your...
And that makes for a nice display, doesn't it? Little electric start John Deere H. Boy, that thing's done up pretty darn nice with the Airstream in the background. Pretty cool. And then here's a unstyled G. Check out the 3020 high crop that came in. It's a very clean tractor, and they've got this one with rice and canes on it. I've actually got rice and cane tires to put on my 3020 high crop, even though mine's out of Florida. But this tractor here, we looked it up in the book, and this tractor was shipped to Franklin, Louisiana, and it must have been on a rail car, I would say, with a load of them, because on February 18th, it shipped with, I guess, 4 others, because a total of 5, is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, so a total of 5 were shipped on the 18th, and then 3 more were shipped to the same location on the 21st, back in 1964, so that's pretty darn cool.
Oh, this tractor's power shift.
It is power shift, yep. I didn't even look up there. That's why this production number is lower right here. 113 built of the 3020s, because they built a total of 400 and something 3020 high crops. And then, but you see right here, the early ones, they had a hump on their operator platform right there to fit the clutch packs for the power shifts. The later style tractors, they got a flat floorboard put back in there on the 69 and up year model tractors. So there's your power shift up there. Pretty clean tractor. They've got rubber things on the brake pedal, so you can't quite see the wear on them to see how many hours it has on it, but some nice John Deere's lined up. Hey, look at that. These guys here are local, out of Perry, Georgia. So they didn't have too far to come. Nice lineup of different brands there, all colors. Another Farmall A high crop, Colt Division, or AV. The V would have stood for vegetable. There's a little Waterloo Boy engine. Running an old school firewood cutter right there now. Back before OSHA got involved with stuff. Looks like they're set up to plow. There's a 60 John Deere with a manure loader on the front of it. And then a nice 620 LP with a disc. See, they're running a rigid frame disc. Check that out there. Farmall M on LP with a 1-row corn picker. It is quite the setup there. Corn picker's blue like it would be a Ford, but I don't know if it's a different brand of equipment manufacturer or not. I'm not much up on that stuff. Across the row here, they've got the nice, they got a pretty good lineup of old equipment here. There's a Rumely oil pool. I got a McCormick Deering threshing machine in the background, and here's a Hart Par, so that's your early Oliver, essentially. Hart Par later on went to become Oliver. McCormick Deering. These things just had a lot of iron in them back in the day. Big old thick frame. Here's a case cross mount. Rust is the name of the game on that one. Here's the big dog Rumely oil pull. They got the little one down there on the end to start the lineup, and they got the big in here. These old prairie tractors are something else. I've never worked on one of them, but I mean, you get up close to it, look how big these flywheels are. This isn't near as big as some of the stuff they had at the Boss show, but it's still pretty impressive. That must be another Rumely. It's not marked, but it sure resembles one. I bet we'll be able to see these guys plowing later. Got a John Deere A with a 2-bottom plow. John Deere 720. Gas motor with a 3-bottom plow. Here's a Farmall regular narrow tread. Steel on the back, rubber on the front. That G there has a lot of rubber on the back of it. But I reckon you would need it to pull that disc they've got hooked behind it. I don't know if they fold it out or not, but that's quite a bit of disc for a G. Little Alice Chalmers on steel. Alice Chalmers D17 narrow front. Oh, it's a diesel too, that's cool. And here they've got the big brother, they got a D19. It looks like he's doing some plow setup. John Deere 70 diesel. Oh, look at that. I got a nice 80 diesel right there. It's a nice tractor. It looks like it's got an electric start conversion on it. 730 diesel. It appears to be electric start as well. McCormick Deering W30. They've got it belted up to a McCormick Deering threshing machine. Pretty darn cool. It's always awesome to see the guys that are willing to bring out these big stuff like these threshing machines to bring into the shows, especially down here. You know, this stuff doesn't last as long sitting around down in the south. It tends to get deteriorated pretty easy, so it's nice to see when the guys bring them out. There's a little 318 with a snow plow. That's what we run at home to push snow and clean sidewalks and put salt out. Check out the little model engines. That is really cool. I love seeing the craftsmanship that it takes to build that stuff. Those little engines built out of a kit, all you get is the castings and then you machine it. There's a 40 tricycle with a wide front, International 350 utility. Little Ford tractor, must be a Jubilee maybe. No, 600, Ford 600. So that was the first of the numbered series, I guess you could say, or the first of the 100 series tractors. And you got your N series, 8 Ns. whole lineup of 8Ns here. These guys here are the Rusty Iron Tractor Club. So they like to have lots of them, and they just leave them in their original condition, get them running, and bring them out to the show. They definitely bring a lot of stuff out, so it's cool to see them. There's a little Minneapolis Moline. I think they were built by B.F. Avery or something. Here's a 1947 Farmall H. And then they got a F20. And then they've got two A's here. These are the regular height A's. You've seen a couple of the AVs in the thing. We'll jump over here and we'll get these ones too. We won't leave any of them out for you guys. We'll try to get everything. Alice Chalmers, W6, so that would have been a standard tread tractor. It's another W6. 430W, got the horizontal exhaust on it. Looks like an A. Another big old McCormick. Haven't seen one of those in a while. Old case tractor with a cast iron grill like that. A pile of little lawn and gardens right here. Ford 2000. Farmall M. There's a Farmall C. I don't know if I've seen one. I think there might have been one of those inside. No, I think that was an H. Looks like a Farmall A. And a John Deere A. Well, I'd say they've got a pretty good coverage of the Farmall tractors here at the show, because here is a BN. It's a Cultivision 2. Notice it's a wider tractor set up like a row crop, but it's offset to one side, similar to the A's and the Cubs that they built. So they've pretty much got every variation of those covered. Here's a yellow 70 industrial setup. It's got a display rack on the front with all the tractors in it. It's got a table with model tractors here. Man, look at the 5020s in there. Pretty cool. Saw that. Oh, I missed one back here. There's yep, I don't know. I'm gonna say that's a 620 LP pulling a John Deere disc. I imagine we'll get some footage of it working later. Here's a 1947 Empire. It says that it's still used on the farm. That's pretty cool. Here's another 1947 Empire. I've been looking at this one. This is across the spot row from us. Caterpillar 15. Look how narrow that thing is. It's pretty darn cool. Out of Thompson, Georgia, sorry. 1930. I'll get another shot of that for you cat gurus. I know you guys really like to know the serial numbers. PV 4589. 1930 model. And here is a nice John Deere A with full cultivators on it. Hand start. Look at that. 1934. It was $756 new. 18 horsepower, 309 cubic inches. One of 2,800 A's produced in 1934. Andy and Pepper Shields out of Thompson, Georgia. A little bit tricky hand starting that one, I bet. There's a Massey Ferguson 180 and a Ford 3000. Those are pretty. Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. Yep. Out of Baxley, Georgia. This crowd here, they run with the world famous Cleveland Carter, in case you guys didn't know it. Yeah, here you go. Here's a 1974 Ford 3000. Here we've got the beginning of Cleveland Carter's lineup right here. Got a 70 LP. It's got a slat bottom plow behind it, 3 bottom plow. I don't know if he's gonna put it in the dirt or not. He's got his 70 here. I'm pretty sure that's one they pulled out of the fence row back in the day that he used to farm with when he was younger. Then it sat up for 20 years and he finally got her pulled back out of there. He has run that primer gray nose cone cap on that thing for golly, as long as I can remember now. And then here's a LP. That's got to be a 730 as tall as it's sitting. 730 on LP. Got a rollover plow on it. I see the bottom 3 are shined up, so I'd say he might have had that out. He puts on a little show down at his home place down there in Baxley. He puts on a little show and in the spring, so I'm sure he had that tractor out then plowing. Little 430 with cultivators and fertilizer box on it, or 40. 430 W. See, they got 3-point hitch on the 430s. Well, the 40s do too. You can see them cultivators are mounted on 3-point, and then that 3-point disc right there. Big improvement over using an M. Got horizontal exhaust on that one. It should be a A. Yep, Model A tractor, unstyled. It's got full round spokes all the way around on it. Cleveland is one that's really good about bringing implements out to a show now, let me tell you. 420 with full cultivators, fertilizer distributor, and then a 330 standard. Same setup. So that really shows the different size tractors that a fella could run on a farm doing that work. And then here's a 40 V. This should be a V, I believe. So a V is just a little bit shorter, narrower high crop. And so he's got cultivators on there and a planter hooked up behind it. Let's see. Yep, 40V right there. And then here's a 40 high crop with full cultivators on it. See, that's set up wide. You could straddle a pepper bed with that. That would have been, that kind of width is set up for running those wide beds like they run down in Florida for peppers and cukes and tomatoes. And then here's an A. So this is your row crop tractor with cultivators, and this would have been a common tractor to see out in row crop country, Midwest, Corn Belt. And they would have been using this tractor working corn and probably soybeans before the day. Actually, I'm sorry, I think I said that had cultivators on it. It doesn't. Those are planters. We needed a little bit of rain for the garden tractors. Alright, if this plow can stay on the ground, this old Massey ain't gonna have a hard time jerking it at all. That's a 180 Massey with a 3 bottom, so it's not too hard to pull it down through there. They're over here harvesting soybeans on the University of Georgia test plot. That's part of the Ag Center's property. Got a pretty full hopper there. Boy, it's dusty out. I figured I'd get a shot of that. That's not the newest combine they make, but it's a pretty late model combine. And then we're over here plowing with 2-cylinder John Deeres. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That'll be it for episode 2 from here at the Perry Ag Show. As always, like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, doesn't cost you guys a dime. And then also don't forget, next year, November 12th, it's always the second weekend before Thanksgiving, will be the National Ag Show, and they are hosting or featuring 250 years of agriculture in America. So that's going to be a really, really good show. And then Classic Green will be here in 2027 in June. So we're really looking forward to being back at this venue a couple times. It is absolutely an outstanding place to host a tractor show. And it's one of my favorite venues that we go to across the country. So hope to see you guys here. Thanks for watching.